Hello there and welcome back to Boardroom Insights. I'm Alan O'Neill. Like you, I'm sure you wonder about AI because we're hearing so much about it these days. It's been around for a few years, but for most of us, it's all about ChatGPT and other amazing platforms like that. It has certainly changed my world using ChatGPT, but of course, AI is so much more than that. Today, I'm really happy to be joined by Dr. Samir Mirdad. Samir is a Saudi national. In fact, he was one of the first Arabs in the world to achieve his doctorate in AI. So if there's anything we need to know about AI, we're going to hear about it today. Not only that, Samir has been around the world doing all sorts of multi-billion-dollar deals on various industries and various organizations. But the one that interests me here in relation to the AI is his association with Ben Labs. Ben Labs is Bill Gates' company, and Samir reported to the CEO, who then reported to Bill Gates. So I think we're going to learn a lot today about AI. Samir, you're very, very welcome, and thank you for joining me. So tell me, how did you get into this in particular? Why AI? I mean, you did your doctorate in AI. Why AI?
Well, funny enough, I didn't actually start my doctorate in AI.
Oh, right.
So in the beginning, when I started my career, I was responsible for the launch of Java. Java software changed basically
That's a code, isn't it?
It's a programming language.
Yeah.
That basically changed everything about life for us when it comes to computers. Yeah. So I was recruited to take Java to outside the US many years ago by Sun Microsystems, and I knew I knew that was a shift. So at that time, the shift was nobody knew what the shift was going to be. They were talking about bandwidth because at the time, your bandwidth was not what we have today.
Mm-hmm.
We're running with modems. So there was a lot of, they were talking about graphical user interface, whether it's server-based, client-based, nobody knew where the big thing was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I felt that's going to be the revolution. It's around Java. I was correct, thank God, and it changed the world. So then about 10 years ago, I thought, what is the next shift? Okay. And everybody's talking about processing, about this, about 3G, 4G, 5G.
Sure.
This is all conceptual stuff.
Yeah.
3G was a concept then, 10 years ago. And I thought, no, it's all going to be about analyzing data and manipulating it.
Right.
To get predictive.
Okay.
So I knew it was going to be around that. What I was making a bet.
Yes.
Okay. And, my background is computer science, computer engineering, minor mathematics, minor physics, and also process control within the computer engineering major. And I have an MBA. So I thought, okay, I want to do it around data manipulation. So I started my doctorate it's in supply chain, which I believed, like, we can't be in this room if it wasn't for supply chain. You won't have the shirt, I can't have it. This watch, I can't have it, right? You can't live without supply chain. So I said, okay, I want to focus my doctorate on data analytics within the supply chain world.
Right.
Okay, so
because at that time, data was like the new oil, wasn't it? Because
it wasn't really, because there was no AI, so nobody was even talking about it.
But it's pre-AI.
Way pre-AI. This is 10 years ago. AI 4 years ago was no AI. We weren't talking about AI 4 years ago. So anyway, so then I did my doctorate. I started my doctorate in that, and I did it on managing spare parts within telecom companies. And I created a couple of models that are actually deployed all over the world in some of the biggest mobile companies. Mm-hmm. And so then while I was in that, then AI came up. But what is AI? AI is actually data analytics. So now it went data analytics, okay, like statistics, modeling, to artificial intelligence. Mm-hmm. And now people don't say AI anymore. So they say it's data analytics, which is the sexy word for AI.
So I'm old-fashioned already.
So it's actually kind of gone full circle. It started data analytics, data manipulation, AI, and then it came back to actually what it is. So when you say data analytics now, everybody knows it's AI. Because that's what it is.
I see.
But computer, like for example, my model ran 98 million times to give me the result that I want. Right?
Amazing.
So you needed big machines, big machines to run that, right?
Mm.
You know?
So AI then, you did your doctorate in AI and you specialize, I understand, in video AI.
Well, this is my personal thing, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at data is two parts.
Yeah.
What we call simple data or structured data.
Yeah.
So, your age, how much money you make, where you live, married or single, how many kids you have.
Mm-hmm.
This is information that fits in a spreadsheet.
Right.
That's what we call structured, or in simple terms for the novice person, which the majority of people don't know about AI, is what we call simple data.
Right.
And then when you go to complex data, this data does not fit doesn't fit in the spreadsheet.
These were computations.
Yeah, like a video. Like you watch a video.
Right.
That video has millions. I don't know where I put my phone.
Don't worry.
I was going to show you my. Yeah, give me your phone for a second. I want to show. I want to show you. I want to show you something.
Well, I need to hold on a second. Now, there we go.
So this view of this phone.
Mm-hmm.
So if I said a video of this phone, so I can describe this phone in 10 ways.
Okay.
You're smarter than me.
Mm-hmm.
You can describe this phone in 100 ways.
Okay.
AI can describe this phone in 100 million ways.
Right.
So when you do, what do you call it? A video, there's so much data points there.
Mm-hmm.
But then how do you understand it?
Mm.
And I was talking to one of the top defense guys in Europe, like really one of the top guys in Europe, very respected individual. And he said to me, Samir, whoever breaks the unstructured data to structure it, it's the holy grail.
I need to bring you back to something a bit more basic and fundamental. What is AI and what is it not, Samir? I mean, just treat me like a Labrador puppy here now, please, okay?
Yeah.
So what is AI?
Okay, see, AI is simple. But of course, if the AI people don't want to make it simple because they want you to need them, right?
Okay.
Basically, it's basically math, right? You're doing calculations.
Right.
So you have a set of data, okay?
Yeah.
And then you're doing some manipulation to that data.
Yeah.
And to get an outcome.
So I get an email from Netflix or Amazon recommending my next film to watch based on my previous. That's AI, isn't it?
What they're doing, they're seeing what videos you've done, what movies you've seen, and what genres
they're personalizing
and genres.
Sure. But is that done through AI?
Not necessarily. I mean, there's 99% of people that tell 99.9% say it's AI. It's actually not AI.
Okay. Right.
Okay. So,
well, okay. Let me try and win here. ChatGPT is AI.
ChatGPT is AI. Exactly.
So let's talk about, because everybody knows ChatGPT.
Yes.
So how does that work? What's going on behind the scenes without getting too technical?
Okay. Well, I mean, to talk about ChatGPT, you're going to have to get very technical. But it's good. It's doing. You're giving it some information, and it's doing hundreds of millions of calculations. To come back to give you what you're asking for it.
Right.
Okay. It's definitely helped us, and it's going to change. It's changing the world, right?
Yes.
But it's not a universe bend.
Yeah.
It's not bending the universe. Okay. Bending the universe is something that's going to. I'm working on a couple of projects now, 2 in particular. Multi-100 billion projects.
Yeah.
And they will bend the universe.
Yes.
They literally will bend the universe. One is in healthcare.
Yeah.
In pharmaceuticals, that's going to revolutionize healthcare.
Yeah.
And one is in sports.
You mentioned that to me before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ChatGPT is making everybody's life a little bit easier. They can write documents. It still has mistakes, right?
Hallucinations and all over the place.
Yeah, I know. So let's say, write me a doctorate. She'll write you a doctorate, but you'll find you have to know what you're doing and going and cleaning it a little bit. So, and then they're talking about, computers having, making decisions on our behalf. Like this is, so if you think of AI, there's two views, okay? One is generative AI, is what you see, ChatGPT, all the stuff that's going on now, right? Generative, right? And then there's applied. I'm an applied guy.
Okay.
So I want to find the problem. So for example, my doctorate is an applied. So anybody talk about me, literally Samir is the king of applied AI.
Okay.
Because I want applications. I don't want fictitious fairy tales. Maybe going to work, maybe not going to work.
Right.
There's a problem. This is the model that's going to fix that problem.
Yeah.
So for example, when I created my model, I looked at, I do a lot of mergers and acquisitions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, we've acquired major stakes in some serious telecom companies, global telecom.
Sure.
So as an investor owning significant shares in these telecom companies, I'm nosy.
Yeah.
I want to know. Okay. So I said, okay, how are we managing spare parts? So now, so you look at it financially.
Yeah.
Spare parts don't fall under operations, an OPEX expense. It's not OPEX. It's actually asset.
CapEx.
Yeah. So you it's you own. It's like you own a building.
Yeah.
Because you own a product.
Even though it's depreciating and all that, it still goes in as OPEX.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't go.
CapEx.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So it's not looked at in the profit and loss because it's actually a positive thing.
Sure.
But it's decreasing. So I said, okay, fine. So how are we choosing? So let's say this phone broke. Let's say it's a telco product. Yeah. Okay. This phone broke. Okay, broke 16 times. Buy 20 products. This other one brought very little science behind it. Like literally, it was that basic.
Yeah.
Very little, but not sophisticated. So I said, but that's not acceptable. Now, the reason why this was okay is because the people that are making this decision, they're not the owners of the company. We happen to be one of the serious owners of these companies.
Mm-hmm.
So if I spend 50 million or 100 million, it's going to make a difference for me. I don't want that. I want better money for me and for for the shareholders that own with me. So I had access because we're the owners. So I was able to get data. And basically, so I built an AI model. And by deploying this model, we had a 60% savings in the cost of spare parts. Right. And then I built solutions because they're assets that you buy for 10 million or 6 million or 7 million. And then I built a strategist like, no, we don't have to buy them. What we do is we buy a support company that supports 6-7 telecom companies. And if that asset breaks, then they will hold it. We will pay them a monthly retainer fee to hold that asset for us and for everybody else. They carry that capital expenditure, not us. And then whenever we want it, it's on hand.
So this is a real case of AI making a difference.
Applied AI, not generative AI. So I'm not really a generative guy. I want a problem, find a solution.
So, okay. So again, Labrador puppy here. What's the generative then versus if it's not applied?
The generative is like, oh, I'm going to make this model. It's going to...
so it's conceptual stuff.
Yeah. Like, it's going to take a drop. I say a drop of water falling on a Coke can. So then it just makes the picture, the video of that's not, but why do I care?
Sure.
A drop. There's actually a program and everybody's talking about it like, wow. It's like.
So everybody wants applied then, obviously, ultimately, but that's where we're going to see the benefit, isn't it?
When you talk to people, don't even understand the difference applied and generative.
Sure.
So we should always be talking about applied. Let the dreamers sit in the basement, build the generative AI.
So stay with the applied then. Yeah. So that example you gave of the spare parts, that's a real live example that happened. Give me
another
dollars.
Example?
No, give me the dollars. In that situation with the spare parts, how much are we talking about it saving versus the cost of developing it?
Well, I mean, I developed it I built it. I paid for. I'm the one that developed it. The telcos.
So there's it's a coding thing, is it?
It's a model. You build a model and you build like a statistical model. Basically, it's a little bit of coding, but not.
So that's somebody at a PC.
But you're not actually programming. What you're doing, you're using a program like a financial program that you can plug.
Sure, but there's a cost. There's a cost, and it's a time cost more than anything.
There's a cost, but the thing is that the savings is 40 to 60%
that's what
savings.
Come to. Yeah, so
massive savings.
With that supply chain example you just given, so there was a real dollar saving.
Massive.
Right.
Same thing like for Aer Lingus. My advisor did the spare parts for Aer Lingus, saved something like 58% or something of spare parts. He's the first person to do it in aviation.
Right.
I'll give you another.
Okay,
I'll give you another one. So this is just financial.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm known to be the video guy because I believe the money is where the video is. Okay. Because video is unstructured data.
Yeah.
And this is a bend in the universe when you can take that video and you can take data from it to change the world. So I'm going to give you an example.
Okay.
So, when you drill for oil.
Yes.
Okay. There's a lot of people in very dangerous space.
Sure.
And normally, if we did a statistic, I think, I don't know the statistic, but it's a lot. A lot of people die every month.
Okay.
Big machinery,
Right. Accidents.
About health and safety.
Yeah.
Explosions, whatever. Right.
Okay.
So now, a very serious drilling company contacted us actually in Ben Labs, and I was actually driving that project, and with video. So video is watching. AI is analyzing in the background.
Okay.
Stop. This function requires 3 people. Why are there 7 people in the rig?
Amazing.
Okay. This function requires these tools. Why is that tool still there? Stop. So this is going to save lives.
Wow.
This is bending the universe.
Right.
Saving lives. Like I can tell you, this company that I'm thinking about, I don't want to say the name.
And this is not the camera that's particularly magic. It's the AI
behind the camera.
Okay.
Now, of course, what they do now, that's like, oh, the camera, he's wearing a hat, he's smoking a cigarette. I can have it.
Well, I guess though there are companies like construction companies that have, I mean, they're having things stolen, or they're also careful about health and safety. They want to make sure that their workers are wearing high-vis jackets, helmets, steel toe.
This
captions.
is basic. That's not the only thing.
understand
You
it's
don't
basic.
need AI for that. But what you need is, okay, this we're building.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a crew on floor 2 and they're doing heavy work on floor 5. Either move floor 2 away.
Right.
That's AI. Say this 2 function can happen together. So AI is watching.
Right.
I'm going to give you another one. So there's a company I'm working with. It's a camera company. It's the size of a half of a pea.
Okay.
Like that small.
Okay.
With a 2-mile zoom.
Whew.
For drones. Right?
Right.
With a laser.
Right.
And it can have a 1-kilometer laser. Right?
Oh.
So, the drones, they're very weight intensive. Like they don't want weight.
Okay.
So if I can put a camera that's literally the size of a half of a pea.
Amazing.
Okay. Now, what is the founder of this is Dr. Alexander, a brilliant scientist. Brilliant. He's done multiple patents. He reminds me of the guy from Back to the Future.
Oh, right.
With the long
crazy
hair.
guy. Yeah.
But he doesn't have hair,
Right.
So
Oh.
that's how I was talking to today. I said, Alexander, you're the guy with the back of you with no hair,
Right.
So anyway, so basically, cameras today are 2D.
Yes.
And we see in 3D. So when I mean 3D, see that curve there? That's 3D,
sure,
okay?
Sure.
2D is like X, Y axis, right? So this camera, so he's doing in healthcare, they put it in the ear and it does a 3-dimensional view of the ear, and AI is looking and checking where is the problem.
So this is a multi-lens camera.
It's one lens, but he's
really.
figured out the way, how cameras, they reverse themselves, and
Yes.
he's figured a way to do it differently than that.
Wow.
And he patented it, right? Another application going in the arteries.
Yeah. For stents
Okay,
and so on.
and then you see different things. So there's zero AI deployed. These are universe bending stuff, right? And it can go into the artery, and as soon as it goes in the artery, it's going to tell you, when I reach the heart, before it reaches the heart, within seconds, this is what I'm going to see, and you have the doctors ready. Because it's seeing what it sees, and it's compared it, it's ran, several million models in the background.
Yeah.
And knows from what it sees, it's predicting what it's going to see in the future.
So, Samir, are you saying that this is here now? This isn't just
now.
right.
I was talking to the guy today. I'm helping him launch the company. Right? Now, they're going to do it in teeth. So the camera comes on the tooth, and it says that tooth is going to have a problem in 6 months. That tooth is going to have a problem in 3 months. That tooth is going to have a problem in 9 months.
Right, so predictive there.
Yeah, it's all about predictive, of course. Why would I want AI? I want to predict. I want to know the future. And the only way to know the future is if I can give it data to analyze where it's going to go.
I mean, this is mind-bending stuff. There's no doubt.
100%.
But that's the video. But if you just go back to the basic, is there any such thing as basic AI anymore? I doubt it. But
you can come down to basics. It's basic. It is basic, actually.
But what are the myths about AI?
The thing is, it's like lawyers, right? Everybody's afraid of law because they don't know it. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the lawyer would say, lawyers that work for me, I don't want a lawyer to tell me no. I want to accomplish this.
Right.
Tell me how can I do this?
Okay. Yeah.
Don't tell me I cannot do it.
Right.
Okay. And I surround myself with very competent lawyers because I do significant work in the hundreds of billions of dollars, right?
Okay.
So it can't be no. It can't be how. Tell me, I want to do this. Tell me how I can do this. Least risk, legal, all that stuff, of course, because we got to maintain being professional, right? So because people are afraid of law, you have an in-house lawyer say, "Oh, you can't do it." Well, you understand?
They just accept that, yeah.
Yeah, they just accept it. 99% of the people just accept it.
Right.
And it's like no challenge, right?
Right.
And it's the same thing with AI. It's very basic. It's not rocket science.
Right.
It's data. Manipulate that data to get predictive stuff.
But there is a lot of concern out there, isn't there? Because, I mean, this is like almost 1984, George Orwell stuff coming. Here we are again. It's, the risk that the computers will take over. That's the extreme. But, I mean...
I see this. Everybody's talking about this. We're going to become more efficient.
Well, that's my thinking. That's what I'm seeing.
It's going to become, like, for example, I write very well.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm writing... I write very, when I'm sending a letter or sending an email.
You know how to put it together.
No, it's going to a significant person.
Right.
So that person has to look. So when I write a text,
yeah,
it's always got to be like that.
Okay.
So I was actually writing a letter, funny enough, to a prime minister. And I had written a very important letter doing big business. It's like $25 billion worth of business in this country. And I'm very good at writing these letters.
Right.
And, it took me 2 days, and I'm always going to go back with a team of people.
Editing, yeah.
And it's a simple letter, but it's got to be top of the top, right? And then after I wrote it, I said, okay, let's put it in AI and this is a letter I'm writing.
Mm-hmm. Improve that, please.
It actually, it wrote pretty much a similar letter.
Right.
But then I thought, Samir, if I would have just told it 2 days ago,
you could have saved 2 days.
2 days of effort. Right? And this is where nobody's losing a job.
Sure.
But it just makes me efficient with my time. I can sit down with my horses. I can sit down with my kids. I can do something I want to do,
But the thing is, though, Samir, you've got a personal style too that until the machine learning kicks in and takes over and recognizes your style, it's going to write it in its style rather than your style. So wouldn't you rather write it yourself and then maybe have it critiqued by...
No, I would prefer for it to write it and then I just clean it. So there's a...
Interesting, because what I do, I use ChatGPT a lot, but I don't always start with ChatGPT. I start with my own style because I want my style. But I've learned something with ChatGPT. We're very basically here now. We'll get back to video shortly. But if I'm putting something and I want to critique it, I don't just say critique it. I act because it then leans more towards being complimentary and saying, great letter, Alan, well done, it's a fantastic. But I don't want to hear that. So now I've learned that I need to tell ChatGPT to give me the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I actually say that into ChatGPT, and it does. So now it gives me a kind of a 360 critique rather than just that binary critique that I used to get. And but I mean, to me, the style thing, you need to be careful, don't you, about not letting it take over and change your style.
Yeah, but so the style, I agree with you. Now it's like I'm building this building.
Yeah.
I'm going to get ChatGPT to build the frame of the building.
Right.
And then I put my touches in the room.
Okay.
Instead of me spending all the energy building the building, I'm gonna apply my style anyway at the end.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you this example, I'm helping this one person that's having an issue in the university, and she had to do an appeal. And I read the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I read the appeal, and I'm like, this is an appeal I would write, and I would have like 7 lawyers. This is something I would write.
Yeah.
And I said, this is a very well written letter.
Right.
Who wrote this letter? I know for sure. I said, who helped you write this letter? She says, I put it in ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm. That's the new world, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's efficient, right? So don't tell me people are going to lose business. Nobody's going to lose business.
Right.
Now, there are places people can lose business.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're going to have a better world.
Well,
like the one project I'm doing in sports, there are people going to lose,
Yeah. But it's like when the internet started back in the 90s. I mean, there was fear that was going to change the world in a negative way. But look, it has enhanced and augmented things, hasn't it? And I see stop saying ChatGPT, Alan. I see AI in a similar vein, that it's going to augment and enhance rather than... It will replace, by the way, some. Do you know that there's some software engineers... I heard this the other day, Samir. Software engineers, as they go to apply for a job, and if they make it to the interview stage, the recruiter asks them, what can you do that ChatGPT cannot do? Now that's a bit scary, isn't it? Because that then, if that engineer recruit is not able to show something beyond what the AI can do, well then...
Yeah, but ChatGPT can't do anything. ChatGPT...
but ChatGPT is only just... I'll stop talking about ChatGPT. It's only the public face of AI, I guess. Yeah. There's other AI platforms.
That's like zero, by the way. Like ChatGPT is literally...
Well, to me, it's much more than zero, I know, can tell you.
But I'm talking, when you talk about the AI world, it's less than zero.
But you see the point, though? I mean, is there this thing, is it going to take jobs? Because that's it. That's one of the... Is it that a myth, it's fear, or is it reality?
I mean... everything's were there coal mines before? No coal mines, right?
Sure.
So evolution takes jobs.
Yep.
So that's.
But the pace of evolution with the coal mines, of course, that was a huge big deal for a particular cohort of people in the world, but not that many in the overall scheme of things. When you look at the different evolving interventions that are coming to our world, AI is one that's going to impact everybody. So the likelihood of, yes, it's evolution, but it's bigger this time, isn't it?
It's much bigger. Basically, AI is gonna. They asked me to present some of these top global conferences.
Yeah.
And on the last one, I said, guys, you have to wake up.
Yes.
AI is going to help cure cancer.
Yes.
AI is going to help cure diabetes.
Wow.
AI is it's gonna help us tremendously with our lives. Like for example, could you imagine when I was younger, and I had 4 young kids. And I'm traveling literally 99% of the time.
Yeah.
And I spend 2 days writing a letter where I could be done in 1 minute with ChatGPT.
And give you back the 2 days to spend with the kids.
That's valuable 2 days for me to spend with my kids because I'm traveling.
Yeah.
Right? So, it's not going to make it better because nothing comes off my desk unless it's 100%.
Right.
But it just puts a frame for me and I just come up with my touches.
Sure. So, Samir, this is the Boardroom Insights, and I guess I want to just talk and bring us into the boardroom. How do you convince, or how does one convince an organization to embrace AI and not just be so afraid of it, because many are afraid of it? What needs to happen inside the boardroom?
Evolution. Mm-hmm. So, T-Rex was the master, top predator, didn't have to work. Had an abundance of food, was going to survive forever, correct? Mm-hmm. Then something happened. What we call a universal shift.
Right.
We don't know what it is. Noah's flood, the meteor from the sky, earthquake, whatever. But some event happened. Mm-hmm. Now, when that event happened, who crossed over? Sharks, crocodiles, lizards, snakes, microbes, dolphins. They evolved for the new life.
Okay.
We are at that shift now.
Okay.
So you either adopt AI,
yes,
or you go extinct.
Right.
The instant we're not evolving,
sure,
is the instant we go extinct. Mm-hmm.
So you're saying, therefore, it's just Mr. Board Member, it's a no-brainer. If you don't, you are literally going backwards.
You're going to be extinct.
You're going to be extinct. Right. But that's a kind of a hard message, and I get it. But at the same time, I totally get it. And I kind of agree with you, Samir, but it still comes down to in the boardroom around the table. The C-suite are all there talking, like, where do they start with this? Let's say they accept the risks of not doing something. So they now know, okay, we need to do something. Where do they even start?
They have to get an AI consultant to look at their business and how can I make it more efficient. So I'm going to give you an example, okay? This pharma company is going to bend the universe. So in March, latest, 2026, the world is going to know this company. Okay. Everybody in the world is going to know this company, right? God willing. So what do? There's a process in manufacturing.
Yeah.
Okay. So we introduced AI through that process.
Yeah.
So we know. So one of the things they do is what we call a pharma special. So if you have a child just born, requires a certain medication.
Yeah.
Okay. That medication is in a capsule.
Right.
Baby can't get a capsule. So if they will receive an order, let's say before 5:00 today.
Yeah.
By 7:00, they create the medicine in a form for that patient.
Appropriate for the child.
With a repository or a paste to be in the mouth.
Gotcha.
Okay. And by 7:00 is dispatched to be there the next day in the morning.
14 hours later.
Yes. Okay. So now what happened was that's what they do. So how did AI help there?
Right.
So we know when the medicine starts from an order and it goes through the supply chain, we know exactly where it is and who handled it, what they did, the time they did it. So when you run that, they have something like, I think 10,000 orders a day.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have that 10 times 10,000
Yeah.
with a lot of these drugs repeated. So
Yeah.
AI is analyzing, okay, this medicine, we've made 5,000 formulations of this.
Yeah.
We've done it in, knows the dates,
Mhm.
and knows the different people. So it had gone and analyzed all that data, said, okay, these are the people that are working now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fastest person. They have 6 jobs.
Yeah.
Okay. They can do it in 15 minutes,
Right.
this formulation. The person that's lined up to get it has 4 jobs and they're going to do it in 1 hour. So it will move the jobs around to make the team efficient. And whenever we use the AI prediction, we found that we're something 65% faster
Okay.
when we use the AI prediction.
So, Samir, this is for a company that in its head, it's mature in the
It's
thought.
not. No, it was not mature one day.
No,
It was not mature in one day.
But just let me make the point that they're coming to a point in their head, they're accepting and embracing AI very willingly. It's a young company, isn't it?
Yeah.
What about a legacy company that hasn't got that brain acceptance around AI and is only starting out? I mean, I'm curious to know who typically leads AI interventions in an organization. It's not the IT guy, is it?
100% not. That's the
That's
mistake.
Right.
This is the biggest mistake that everybody does. The IT person
It's assumed to be an IT issue.
It can't be. It's got to be either the CEO or the chairman of the board or a senior board member.
Right.
It's got to be driven at the highest levels.
Sure.
So, for example, AI in sports today.
Yeah.
Okay. And I use football. This is my next project I'm working on.
Yes.
Okay. So what happens? They hire an AI guy or girl, right? In the thing. 6 months later, they sack him. Right? This person is probably the most important person in that organization. But because they're not recognized from the highest and not sponsored at the highest level.
I see.
Right?
Mm.
Like I'm working on a project right now that's going to literally, it's going to revolutionize sports, every sport in the world with AI. With AI.
Sure.
Okay. And I'm talking to some very senior people.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be $100 billion company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But the thing is, you need to have the sponsorship at the highest level. CEO, chairman of the board, senior board member. That level has to be sponsoring this.
Right.
And then you got to get a consultant that understands what's happening. Okay, this is our business. How do I? And the problem is that they have to sift through a lot of garbage. Like every company does AI. I'm sure if you Google AI, fake AI, there's so many companies raise so much money. Say, oh, we've got an AI platform. Next thing you know, they find 6,000 developers in India working in the background. It's lies. Okay. So they have to shift.
Why is that lies?
Because it's not AI. You're giving a problem. You're saying AI is solving this problem. You're raising money saying this is an AI solution. And it's not. It's actually humans working in the background.
Okay. Right.
You know?
Right.
The whole thing.
Because they're being paid lower, they can afford to have lots more people.
Yes, exactly. Throughout the job. But it's not, they're not doing AI. They're humans solving a problem, not artificial intelligence solving a problem. So they need to find the right consultant that can come in and look at their business. And I tell everybody, look, a lot of people ask for my advice. I walk in there and say, guys, you know your business more than anybody knows their business. So don't allow anyone to come in here to tell you your business.
Sure. Well, actually, that then moves away from the point you just made about getting in an AI consultant. And I'm curious, with the pharma company, that supply chain efficiency that came about on the back of AI, who in the organization led that project?
One of the 4 owners.
Right.
At that top level.
Right. But he wasn't or she wasn't an IT person.
Well, he liked technology.
That's
He's
fine.
A pharmacist. There are 4 pharmacists.
Well, no, that's the point I'm getting at. So it clearly needs a champion, but somebody who's willing to embrace it and just look beyond what the norm has been for years heretofore.
100%.
Okay.
I mean, if you want, see, the thing is that you have to see, are you happy sustaining the business the way you're sustaining?
Right.
I don't want to touch anything. Like a lot of people ask me for different things and ask my help, and I try to help as many people as I can. The thing is that if it's not bending the universe, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I'll help them, guide them, tell them, talk to that person.
Well, I mean, that's great. At the level you're playing at, I get it. But not everybody can change the universe. At their own local business level,
but then,
they still have to embrace it, though.
Yeah, everybody has. I mean, look, it's basic. Embrace it or go extinct.
Sure.
And that's it. Like, that's accept it, don't accept it. 10 years from now, you're going to tell me, Samir, you said.
Yeah.
You know?
Samir, what are the pitfalls? I mean, where have you seen this going wrong? For whatever reason.
When you have the wrong people doing the right job.
Okay.
The wrong people, see, appointing the wrong person to do the right job is the biggest mistake. Or having.
And what does the wrong person look like? What are they doing that makes them the wrong person?
That says, I understand AI. And like, for example, today, who's talking about AI today? So it's like there's only two people talking. I mean, everybody's talking about AI.
Yeah.
So you have one person that is the developer that's developing AI.
Yeah.
What does that person know about global life?
Mm-hmm.
He knows his own bit in his own sphere, in his own small world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Or you have the investment banker that money-wise changing the world.
Yeah.
And he reads about AI.
Yeah.
But unless you're living, breathing, sleeping, eating AI,
mm-hmm.
you don't know AI.
Mm-hmm.
You have an idea of AI.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
But that's at the level of expertise you're talking about.
Yeah. So you.
But not everybody needs that, do they?
Well, I mean, if you're going to make a change,
yeah,
you need somebody like that
on the team. Yeah.
You know, like if I'm coming to about in your area,
yeah,
I'm going to bring you,
yeah,
and you're going to tell me, Samir, this is the issue here, culture,
sure.
this, that, right? You know, because you've been around, you've seen a lot of organizations, you know what's happening, right? But if I went to somebody, just a junior person coming out of college, that person ain't going to, somebody with 10 years experience, what does that mean? What? You know, unless they've worked several organizations across different vertical markets, different industries, you know, with your experience, then I'm not really doing the best for my company.
Sure.
So you got to spend a little bit of money for the benefit of the company. But when you spend it, you better spend it right.
Okay.
Or not spend it.
Yeah.
Or say, forget it. I'm going to be a legacy. I'm going to be a dinosaur. It's okay.
Yeah.
As long as you know.
Okay. Samir, we're going to take a break here just now. And when we come back, we'll go deeper into the video, if that's okay with you. Yeah? Okay. So let's take a break here. Are you ready to grow profit with less stress, more clarity, and a strategy that actually sticks? That's why I created the 7 Steps to Profit, a practical business framework that helps leadership teams align their strategy, culture, people, customer, and execution so that profit naturally follows. For over 30 years, I've worked with leaders across every industry, and the one truth that always holds: when the different parts of your business are aligned, everything gets easier. So if you're tired of firefighting, tired of silos, it's time to transform how your business works. Our work is also supported by our own organization health assessment to give you clarity on what you need to focus on. Give us a call today for a no-strings discovery call. In the meantime, visit 7stepstoprofit.com. That's the number 7. So welcome back to Boardroom Insights. We've been talking about AI, and we've been hearing from Dr. Samir Mirdad as a global expert on everything AI. And I certainly am learning, as the Labrador puppy that I am in the world of AI, I'm learning everything that I need to know, for sure. I am thinking, though, I'm again going to stay with the boardroom concerns, and then we'll come back to some other big picture stuff in a second. But I'm thinking here specifically about the usage. I know we're talking about applied AI, so we're only talking about applied AI here. That's all I think most people care about. The generative stuff is for the geeks and so on. Okay. But for the applied AI, I know that there's a lot of concern too about having policies in place, so that, because I know of some people using, and I'm going to say ChatGPT as being the main visible front of AI, and I know I'm wrong, but that's what people are using that, and they're hiding it from their bosses. And there's this kind of secrecy thing going on in some cases where they feel they can't let on that they're using it. And in other cases, then there's abuse around that. And I'm curious to know, what are using your lawyer's hat here, Samir, what does an organization need to do to protect itself and protect its people?
Well, I mean, there's a bigger picture than this, okay? So, somebody using, ChatGPT or using, if somebody hires an incompetent person, do you mean incompetent in AI or generally speaking? Incompetent a person. Okay. So, anybody that works with me, okay, they have to be top of the top of the top of the top. Okay. And I recommend this to everybody. Sure. So if you think a chain, right? Yeah. Whenever you have the weakest link of the chain, that part goes into the abyss. Okay. So if the weakest link is the second line, The entire organization goes to the
Indeed.
abyss.
Indeed.
So if somebody hires an incompetent person who doesn't know how to do work and they're using ChatGPT to do the work, whose fault is that?
Mm-hmm.
The person who hired that person, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, but there's a bigger picture here. It's on GDPR and data protection and all that stuff, right? Now, we have to start thinking. So imagine if I can get AI to analyze all of the medical files that the health ministry has.
Mm-hmm.
I can make predictions on things that would probably reduce the cost to the government by 50%.
Right.
Now, you have one person, GDPR. I'm not using any name.
You don't want the details of the content.
I just want the illness,
yes,
the age,
the trends,
how that illness was treated. And AI will go and read all that and say, well, this illness, and it compares it to hundreds of thousands of people. And if we allow the intersection with other parts of the world, it would come up with some phenomenal conclusions. Oh, this disease should not be treated with this medicine. It should be treated with this medicine, lower to the government for the patient. Yeah. So the thing is that there's people that are going to stop the advancement of AI that can really, like, I'm telling you right now, the cure from cancer is not going to be somebody coming out with a drug. It's going to be somebody coming out with an AI platform that's going to analyze data.
You think?
And then figure out a way.
Right. Okay.
Like for example, we're studying the endocannabinoid. Every human body has a cannabinoid system. It's called endocannabinoid system, ECS, right? And when you study that and you understand the receptors in the body, then you can actually get plant material and then match it with that fingerprint. And you can alleviate pain. You could alleviate anxiety, people with cancer. You can give them a plant material that they get hungry to eat, right? Sleep, insomnia. These are, and pain. You know that 25% of the global population are suffering from pain and they cannot alleviate it. Not just pain, like pain, and there's no conventional medicine they're living in pain.
Well, those kind of trends. So you're saying AI can not only identify what those trends are, but then also create predictions around that, and that can.
And what worked, what didn't work.
Yeah. So go back to the policies thing, though. So you're saying that there's the policies, whatever the policies might be at a local organization level, you're looking at a macro picture here that at the bigger level, there should be some way of getting access to this data. And not to be letting GDPR get in the way. There's ways around that, I'm sure, too.
Well, we want to do it legal. People's data is private, but we don't need
You don't need the data.
Like, for example, in Ben Labs, when I was with them, and I'm working, so a lot of the team left and created another company called Revmatics, and they're doing unbelievable stuff. They own the social space. And every time we sat in a meeting, they're like, what about GDPR? It's not GDPR, it's social space. It's social. I have it.
It's already out there.
It's already out there,
Okay. Now, remember a few months back, we had this thing with DeepSeek, the Chinese company, coming out with an AI platform at a cost of apparently $6 million. I'm not quite sure if that's true. How many dollars were spent before they got to the market? But they did that without using NVIDIA chips, didn't they? Because they were banned from using...
Well, you got to think, right? Why would somebody let them use something that's going to require them to use less chips?
Sure, okay. But look what it has done, though. It has completely...
The price has dropped. There you go. But the price is dropping. Now, there's a big...
So is that protectionism in the first place?
Look, I can't make decisions on other companies, what they do and what they say. But, and I cannot tell you that when DeepSeek first launched, I was speaking, and I've been the keynote speaker in LEAP, which is the biggest IT conference and biggest AI conference in the world. And I've done it since they've inception for the last, and they're the biggest in the world. It's in Saudi. And funny, they asked somebody to talk about DeepSeek from all the people that were there, and
it was around the time, wasn't it? I remember
exactly.
That. Yes,
and they said, Samir, we believe that you're the most qualified person to talk about it.
Okay.
And that's what I actually talked about DeepSeek. Funny that you bring it up,
right?
Even though we didn't plan to bring it up, But yeah. So again, we're still talking about kind of a ChatGPT thing. We're not talking about applied universe changing. Like, AI is going to healthcare.
No, I appreciate
hard.
it. But again, I'm going to say that the DeepSeek thing, like whatever to use for, which is basic stuff, I get it, like ChatGPT. Yeah. But the creation, the development of it behind the scenes is illustrative of where this market potentially is going, which
100%.
is further down.
100%, yeah. So, but it has to be. It's economies of scale, right?
And it just ends up being commoditized.
Yeah, it becomes more commoditized, cheaper.
Right. There must be more of that to come then.
100%. But it's evolution, right?
Mm-hmm. It's like I've been considering using a chat agent, an AI agent on my own website. Yeah. So what that means for me in my learning mode here, where somebody can land on my website and in the initial, where they're just browsing, they're not ready to make a phone call directly to one of my team, but they're curious about some things. And with this chat agent, if I go ahead with this, that they can interact with the chat agent. Now, the chat agent has been trained on Alan. Mm-hmm. So all of my books, my articles, my writings, my slides have been uploaded. And in this case, it's been told, learn Alan. So now it learns everything about Alan, my writing style, how I might answer questions, my various models, and so on. So when a visitor lands on my website, before they make that actual phone call, they can interact with an agent. And that is a voice agent, where that person, this agent, electronic agent, can answer questions in the same way as if it was Alan answering the questions. And there are boundaries around it. They actually search all of the content that they have on me, and they do a bit of searching into the web as well. There's boundaries on it, there's time frames on it, et cetera, et cetera. What are your thoughts on this as a development?
Well, this is an applied solution.
It
right?
is.
So,
sure.
When you're looking, when you get to a phone service, you have like first line, second line, third line. First line is a basic person.
Yes.
And if they can process it, then they're fine. Second line is a more expensive person, more experienced.
Yes.
Third line is much more senior.
Sure.
For the most difficult one. So what's happening is that I have interacted a few times with these kind of virtual agents.
Yeah.
My requirements are quite sophisticated.
Okay.
So they have not addressed my solution. But for a basic thing, I could see them. But don't forget, remember you're telling me about losing jobs.
Yes.
So you're eliminating.
I am. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Well, and you're not feeling sad for it.
No, well, we see there wasn't a person there in the first place, right? Well, I could go out and hire somebody. Yeah. I could.
Or hire a service to do that with a person.
I could. But the level of content, it would just be expensive and it would take a long time to train that person. But I mean, this is me embracing it.
Yeah.
And recognizing that, yes, okay, if I was to be altruistic about it, I'd say, no, let me hire somebody. But if I'd be modern about it and embracing the realities and the tools that are there, well, then I would use that. Yeah. So, well, I was going to say something there in relation to the chat agent. I mean, they certainly, what I was going to say was, in that case, the example I just gave you, if I was to house it on my website, that's incoming. But they're also being used for outreach. I know where I spend a lot of time in the Middle East, your home territory, Samir, there are property companies, actually, they get these voluminous leads coming in from the people who want to buy properties. And rather than making outbound human phone calls, they're using the bots to make the outbound. And I've heard some of them. They're spectacular. Like the interaction between the bot and the human is quite sophisticated and impressive. And you would not know you're talking to a human.
Yeah.
So,
but again, evolution, right?
It's evolution, but it's great, isn't it? It really is great. I want to just maybe consider too the big picture here, because you are a big picture guy. What's the real value, Samir, around AI, and where is it going?
So remember I told you that there's two sets of people talking about it, either the developer or the investment banker.
Yes.
Okay, so when you talk about big picture, the developer doesn't have an idea.
Okay.
Supposedly investment banker. And I'm going to show you here. So if you look at, if you do your research, you'll find that AI is going to generate between 17.1 and 25.6 trillion by the year 2030.
Let me give me those numbers again.
17.1
trillion
to 25.6, between those two numbers. Okay. Now I'm going to go for the high end.
Right.
And I'm going to show you why this number is wrong. Okay. So we're going to go for 25 trillion. So if we say 25 trillion,
This is a number that's being out there in the public
It's not
domain.
out there. If you hear 25 trillion or 20 trillion that AI is going to generate, it's me. It's coming from, it all comes back to me.
Okay.
And whoever's saying it, then ask them to defend it.
Right.
I guarantee you, unless they watch what I'm going to tell you now,
Go for it.
they're not going to be able to defend it.
Okay.
So what does that mean? So Saudi Arabia last year
Your home country.
generated $500 billion from oil. So it means that by the year 2030, AI is going to generate 25 times what Saudi generated.
50 times. $500 billion to
Yeah, I know,
25
but 25 trillion is going to be 50 times what
Yeah.
Saudi generated.
Right.
Okay, 25
In oil,
trillion
yeah, okay.
in oil. And we're using 25 trillion, the high number.
Yeah.
Okay, now normally people will use the middle number. Okay.
Which is 20, I suppose.
Now, basically, think of AI like if you have a car, you have a car.
I do, yeah.
Now, what happens if it doesn't have petrol?
It doesn't go.
What's the benefit of it?
Useless.
Completely useless.
Mm-hmm.
But with petrol, you can do a lot of things. You can
Sure.
take somebody to the hospital, go get you food, bring your kids from school, take you to the cinema,
Yeah.
go meet your friends, go have business meetings, right? So the petrol is the data
Right.
and AI is the car,
Okay.
right? So without data, AI is zero.
Without data, AI is zero. Okay.
Nothing. There's no point for AI because if it needs data to, I remember we talked about data analytics,
Yeah.
right? So you got to analyze data to get prediction of things,
Right.
okay? Or understanding of what's happening, right? So now, when you look at data, so we're now talking about data, right? So we're talking about 100% of data, right? So remember I said the prediction was 25.6 trillion
Gotcha.
in the year 2030,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So when you look at data, 100% of the data, 10% of this data is what we call simple data, structured
This
data.
is structured back to the
Back to
spreadsheet.
structure. And I don't want to
example,
confuse people. Let's make it simple and complex data. But it's simple is basic structured data. Complex is unstructured data, video, audio. Okay. So 10% of the available data in the world today is simple data. So I meet senior people from top Fortune 100 companies
Mhm.
and ask them, how much are you using? How much data are you using to make your global decisions? Oh, we're using 95% of data. We're using 70% of our data. They're using 70% off of the 10% that is structured because they can't understand what's the unstructured, well, the complex from the simple data.
Right.
Okay. And at best, the highest point, probably 15% of the 100% of the data.
Yeah.
Okay. So now all these predictions are on the 10%.
Wow.
No, it's not wow yet.
Okay.
Wow hasn't started
All
yet.
right.
Okay.
Hit me.
Okay. So now all this 25 trillion is
Is
focused
modest.
on 1% of 1% of the 10%. So if you take the 10%, right?
Yes. Which is structured. Gotcha.
Which is
Mhm.
simple data.
Simple.
And then you take 1% out of that,
Okay.
and then take that 1% out of the 10 and take 1% out of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You're saying that's the 25.6 trillion.
That's 25.6 trillion. So if we're saying 25%, and this is, by the way, backed up with a lot of data, a lot of research, a lot of reports, yeah?
Right.
But the thing is, again, who's talking about this? The investment banker. With all my respect, I have a lot of dear friends that are investment bankers, very smart people.
Mm-hmm.
But unless you're living, breathing, sleeping, eating AI,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to know this. So I'm going to give you the number.
Yeah.
So if 1% of 1% of 10% is 25 trillion, what's 1% of 10%? 2,500 trillion. That's 1% of the 10% of the simple data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then what is actually the 10%? 2,500,000 trillion.
I don't even know what letter goes with that anymore. I've
Right.
lost the millions, billions, trillions. I mean,
And now
crikey.
we're in the 10%. We haven't touched the 90% unstructured
Wow.
of complex data. And when you talk in the world of AI, everybody knows that Samir is talking about these 90%.
Yeah.
is video, audio, complex data.
But before we come into that, and we want to finish off on the video, but I want to just get back to when you say the value of this market is whatever number of trillions, it's a number. How is that number calculated? Is this based on the usage?
Job savings, opportunities, revenues, cost savings. You put all of it together.
But how could anybody possibly come up with a number? I mean, how do you?
The thing is that there's been, this is what like McKinsey's and, so they have a McKinsey, very smart person doing it, right? But that person doesn't understand AI, understand doing research.
Right.
So they say, okay, I'm going to, and they put a formula, but it's not far away from the truth. But the thing is that
to GDP and all that kind of stuff too.
The thing is that the number they came with 25 trillion was so inaccurate because that person is not breathing AI. He's done it out of the 1% of the 1% of the 10% of the simple data.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I do.
And the general public doesn't know this,
So when you talk about video, I mean, when I think about video, I know of a security company, for example, who have, they have cameras on building sites, and through the cameras, which are the cameras, that's not where the magic is. The magic is in the data behind that the cameras are analysed, the data is analysed and so on. And there's one major construction company in the world, they're global, that are saving millions in preventing theft. Well,
health and safety.
Yes, health and safety, but actually preventing theft of their equipment being raided at night time when there's nobody there, even when security is there. So this has significantly saved them money. And that AI, the cameras and the AI obviously read patterns, and they can tell when somebody shouldn't be, blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of obvious stuff. But where you're talking about with cameras and sport, that's an incredible jump on away from just the basics of watching health and safety. What are you talking about?
So let's say football today.
Yeah.
How AI is applied to football today is that this person has scored 2 goals. He got the ball 10 times. What we call predictive statistics.
Yeah. So across X number of matches.
He's gotten the ball 10 times. He scored 2 goals.
Right.
Give it to him 15 times. Statistically, he's going to score 3 goals.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's worthless.
Why is that worthless?
Because it's not predictive. It's just statistics. But what happens if I actually watch that person in training?
But don't the actuaries and the insurance companies believe in that stuff?
But that's not sport, right?
Right.
Yeah, actuaries is a fixed thing. Their assets, they only burn so much.
Yeah.
Theft happens so much. This is 22 guys or 22 girls in a game, playing a game. There's a lot of forces other than actuary.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So wouldn't it be better that I have established a pattern of a player? So
his or her behavior
when they're
movement
playing.
Patterns.
Yes, and I establish what we call a baseline, their baseline. So, how like my horses.
Right.
I don't know if you know, but I have a lot of horses, 90 horses at home. And they're mine. I don't sell. I just do it for me to ride, to win. And I've found the production of horses is not effective for me. I buy horses, I pay a lot of money, and then I'm getting somebody else's fingerprint on that, and I got to remove those fingerprints to get that horse and me to be a unit. Right?
In your form.
To be, for me to work. Right? So, and that's like a 50% failure rate.
Not surprised. Yeah.
And you buy the horse for a lot of money, and then you sell it, and anyway. So basically I said, forget it, I'm not going to do this anymore. So I started producing, I started breeding, but the top of the top, and then producing correctly.
Yeah.
Right? So what's happened? What am I doing? So first, I got the horses living in a natural environment. What's a natural environment?
Field paddock?
But not by themselves. They're in herd because they're herd out. So they live, I've got them 8, 9 years old, they're living in a herd.
Right.
I just take the back shoes off. If they kick each other, they don't get hurt.
Yeah.
But they're living in a herd. That is a natural environment for a horse. Okay. When you have a horse coming at like 3 years old and you take him away from natural, and sometimes they're in herd, sometimes they're not. Maybe they're herd of 1 or 2 or 3. But with me, they're like 10, 15. So they live a natural life. There's a social structure there, right? And then what happens here, everybody's trying to sell horses. So at 3, 4, push them. The joints are not set till 7.
7 years of age.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're putting them through. So horse has never been out, never seen a human. Then they have to go through breaking. Now, when you break a horse, it goes through 26 steps or 24 steps. Some horses might be better than others. So you jump a step because the person you're giving the horse to break is going to say, well, I don't need to do this step.
Yeah.
You're going to pay for it later.
Oh, right.
You understand?
Right.
So I actually said, okay, fine. Horses, they can live in a group.
Natural environment. Mm-hmm.
At 3, they get broken.
Yeah. But
very lightly, but properly. Then they go away, think about it, because their body's not ready. At 4, their body's not ready. You know? So they just see a little bit getting out. And what we're doing, we're establishing improving their baseline. So horse goes, oh, what's happening? Where's the lion? You know, panic. So he goes out, she goes out again and goes out again and goes out again. Gets used to being without a lot of horses around, then a little bit more horses, a bigger show, more horses, more, gets the anxiety, so what you're doing is you're building the baseline for that horse. Now, I have a 7-year-old and we know he's one of the best horses in the country, probably in Europe.
Yeah.
And I'm jumping him in my level. I'm not jumping Olympics. This horse could jump Olympics, and every single one of my horses could possibly jump in the Olympics. But what's happening is that because they're not being put under pressure, when they're 7, they're super healthy.
Right.
With every other horse, has been busted at 4. I've busted at 5, busted at 6. So building the baseline. So I come back to the player. So I'm building the baseline. Okay. So today, I establish a baseline for a player, and there's no in-game analytics.
There is no game.
There is currently no in-game analytics
other than intellectual pundits.
Yeah, but that's not analytics, right?
No, well, they might disagree, but it's totally subjective.
Subjective, right? Yeah. So if I have an in-game analytics and I have, let's say, a fictitious person called Adam, and Adam is playing, and I know his baseline is 100% when he's practicing at home.
Yeah.
Right? With no stress.
Right.
Okay. I can see how that baseline improves, like the horse, right?
Yeah.
Goes out, it can handle the pressure, it can handle the pressure,
Wow.
it can handle the pressure, right?
Right.
But then I'm watching, right? So normal camera view, watching Adam perform. And then I say, AI says, hey, in game, within 10 minutes, Adam is playing 66% of his baseline. As an owner of a football club, how much would you pay for that data?
Wow.
How much would you pay?
Well, I don't know what I'd pay, but I could pay a lot of money for sure.
Yeah,
because it's valuable. It's certainly very valuable.
Why? Why?
Well, it's going to shorten things, isn't it? And speed things up.
Well, no, because your broadcasting rights, when you're in the top 10% of the 20, let's say you're in the Premier League.
Yeah.
The top 25% get a massive number, like 20 million or 25 million broadcasting right. When you fall down to the second quarter, which is the 75 to 50, that drops by half. When it falls down to the third quarter, that drops by like 80%. And when you drop down to the bottom, it drops to like 95%. So one game could make a difference of 10 million pounds.
Right.
Right? One game. So you better win every game. So that information that Adam is playing 67% of his baseline, 10 minutes in the game. Now, why do you think Adam is playing 67% of his baseline? Because when Adam got on the plane from France to go to play that game in Portugal, on the plane, he got sick. But he's an athlete. So you don't know that he got sick because he's fit, very strong. You're only possibly going to know 9 or 8 days later when he comes back home and he might have a sniffle. But so the eye cannot say, but AI could say he's playing 66% of his baseline.
Yeah.
Now, is that enough information you want, or you want more intelligence?
Well, I'm sure there's more available, but I want to just go back to the rugby players have this pack in their back. I mean, is that not analytics of some sort?
Okay. Chip, let me finish the second and I'm going to come back to that.
Okay.
So after I know Adam is playing 67% of his baseline, I've already done data analytics on all of the competition players because I've watched every single game they played. I have a broadcast of it. Correct? I can buy it.
Right.
Okay. So I know exactly what baseline for every one of the players. And I could see that in the last 2 games, the 2 left guards, so Adam is right forward, the 2 left guards are playing below their baseline. And I produce and I can predict from the analytics of the games that they're constantly dropping. It means they're playing injured. It's like when I say horses are riding with load. How does a horse that's 100 to 1 wins against one that's 2 to 1.
Fascinating.
Right?
Samir.
One horse is riding with power. One horse is riding with load, with injury.
Right.
So now in the game, within 10 minutes, I say, okay, take Adam out, put 2 left forwards and attack that. It's got to transcend the game. Right? Now with rugby, you're talking about these chips.
The
right?
pack in the back.
The chips, the chips. They have this thing with a chip.
Okay.
So what is the chip going to give you? It's going to give you how fast they're moving. So
the hits they get and all that.
First, you got to put a whole system, GPS system in place to read the chip.
Right.
So setup is expensive. Time consuming also. Whether short or long, but it's definitely time consuming. Okay? What data is that chip going to give you? That chip is going to only give you how fast he is or she is. Okay? Where in the pitch they are.
I always assumed that it measured other things like stamina or hits that they've gotten.
Yeah, okay. You can find, I'll accept measuring the hit, but I don't think they can. It'll measure the heart rate, the temperature and all that stuff, how fast they're going. Okay. There's a thing in the ball. So when they pass the ball, how accurate the ball.
Right.
But it's not giving you how that player is moving his hand, his leg, his elbow, his knee.
No way. Wow.
So
you're saying the way this can possibly go with
So
AI
my next
video?
project I'm working on is going to give you every movement and have injury prediction. So I can look at a player and say, he got to check his left hip, his loading. And I could do it for horses, for rugby players, for football players.
Basketball,
so these
tennis,
these chips, the minute I launch my company, God willing, 18 months, every chip company is going to be obsolete.
Right. Well, look, on that note, I want to ask you something on a more personal level. What makes you get up in the morning, apart from all the amazing stories we just heard, Samir? What makes you tick?
I want to, really, I've kind of dedicated my life to helping people, really, especially with like
I've seen that.
Cancer.
I've genuinely, I'm not just trying to throw or be diplomacy with you, but I've seen that.
My grandmother died of cancer. And I've always she was very important in my life, and it's something that is very important for me, and I want to help people with that. And when I always prayed, I said, God, give me the power to help people with this illness,
right?
But I could never see how I'm going to do it because I'm not a medical doctor.
Yeah,
I'm not like an oncologist or somebody's going to come up with some fantastic genetic thing that's going to help. That's not my realm. But whenever I joined this pharma company, I really can see the impact this company is going to do is going to revolutionize medicine. It's going to help a lot of people with illnesses that they have no solution for. Cancer, pain. 25% of our current population are living with pain.
Wow.
Unresolved. There's no drugs that they can take to alleviate the pain.
Well, you've heard it here, folks, on Boardroom Insights. Watch this space. Samir, that was just an incredible story of AI and your own personal story. Thank you.
Thank you.
A great pleasure.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening. And please do hit the subscribe button or leave a review wherever you're listening to this podcast. Thank you.